I'm going to show you how to do the wraps for a short row. What you want to do is practice and make sure that you're picking up of wraps when you're doing a short row. Make nice looking fabric. Casting on, I 12, 13 stitches, something like that. And I've already wrapped, I wrapped this stitch, and I'm going to wrap the last knit stitch for you. So I've gone back and forth, knit, purl row, knit a row, purl a row, knit a row, purl a row, with one wrap stitch, so that I would end up with 3 wrap stitches for you to see. So I'm going to go to 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 from the end this time, and it may be a little difficult to see, but there is a little green wrap stitch around this purple one and a little red one that's wrapped around the base of this green one here. I'm using Lorna's Laces Cat's Aha short color changes, so hopefully it'll show for you. I'm going to go to the front with the strand, slip that stitch over here, put the strand in the back, and then slip the stitch back over. I like to do mine at the end of my row and then turn my work. Some people like to do their wrap at the beginning of their row. So you will see it done differently in different patterns depending on the preference of the person creating a pattern. And once again, I've wrapped the base of this one, and I'm about to wrap at the base of this yellow stitch here. And I'm going to put the strand at the back, slip it over, put the strand at the front, and slip it back over. Now I'm showing you as an English or throw knitter, but it would be the same action of moving it back and forth. It would just be done with the yarn carried in my left hand if you're a continental knitter. And now I'm going to start picking up those wraps. In this case, for practice purposes, I'm going to pick up all 3 of those wraps on this same knitted row. In a lot of patterns, you would only pick up the first wrap, then purl back, then go and get the next wrap. There might be a lot more of that. You'll follow your pattern. Now this stitch, of course, even though I've got this color change, it's, oh, well, why don't I go one more over? Okay. Fortunately, it is a little bit different color. It's yellow here. Okay, see, it's going around there's this yellow strand that's going around the base of this red stitch. That's the wrap. And I'm going to go at it from this side and into the knit stitch here and pull the strand through the 2. And it would not change if I were a continental knitter, other than the fact that instead of, I would be poking it the same, I would just be using this finger to do the wrapping. Okay, so I have it like this, and what I want to do is I want this working yarn, which you can see it's purple right here, I want it to go through the stitch on the needle and the wrap itself. So the wrap's this yellow one. I want to make sure that that working strand goes through both. Almost like a knit 2 together. Okay. Like that. And that's the classic way. Now, if you're having trouble getting the working strand to go through both, you can also slip that needle over on this and then put your needle into the wrap, go like this, and then pull it through. That is the same action. So if that gives you a better result, go for it. And like I said, now if I got here and I went, oh, see that green strand? That's the wrap. And this purple here is my working stitch, and that was my stitch from the needle. I have to get this wrap. I need to get that working strand through the wrap as well if I miss it. See? I mean, you could start over or you could just finish it like that. But the working yarn has to go through both, or you would end up with an extra stitch on your needle. And if you've done it right, what your goal is to look at the fabric here and that it looks like nice stockinette fabric, as opposed to having bumps or twisted stitches and that sort of thing. and you'll know you've picked up your wrap if you like the way it looks. If it's awkward looking fabric, then practice some more. I'm going to purl my way back over here. And you know, you may have trouble seeing the wraps, especially if you're new to looking at them. So it does help to know how many out from the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could even put a safety pin at that beginning spot so that you don't miss it. That right here, this under this yellow stitch is my first wrap. And it does look different than when a stitch is just coming out of the stitch below. There's a yellow bump here. That's the stitch below, but normally this yellow one's coming out of, and it's got this extra loop. Okay, now on the purl side, I don't want to come here. I don't want to use this front strand. What I'm looking for is the back of the wrap right here. And that's the one, and I'm going to poke into the stitch as though to purl it, and I'm going to pull the working strand. Whoops, didn't get it through the wrap there. I want it to go all the way through both of those, both the stitch on the needle and the wrap. Okay, let's try that one again. Like that. And if it helps to get it up on that stitch there, then go for it. If that helps you to get it through both of them. But you probably, like I said, I'm doing it a little differently for each one, but I would suggest that you try and do it as much as possible in a consistent way. Oops, let's get it on camera. So that's what's going to give you the most even and nicest looking fabric. Now on this side, it's not so, you can't tell really what's going on. You really want to take a look on this side. This is the side, the right side of my fabric. If this were a sock or a heel, I would want to make sure that that looked nice. And that's your short wrap. And like I said, I could go ahead and keep doing this several times on this little scrap to make sure that I like the way it's coming out before I go and work on my actual object that I'm trying to accomplish as a project. Thank you.